Hello and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. But I look at a very interesting varietal, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with this varietal. I know it's not, you don't walk into any average grocery store wine department and find this. Now you'll find it in my department, but I only actually have one in there right now because it's such a variety that people are not familiar with, and unless you're hand selling this wine, people will not look for it. And the varietal is Mencia, M-E-N-C-I-A, Mencia. You give it kind of almost a T sound on the C, T on the C to make it sound like Mencia, Mencia. And this is a varietal that is synonymous with the appellation or the Dio Bierzo in the northwest. Bierzo is part of the larger district known as Castile y León, and actually one of these has a designation to Castile y León on it. This will be the first one we try. I just want to make this varietal more familiar to you guys because it's a really good wine. It's a good food wine, very similar to Carmenere. In fact, for a long time we thought it was actually Carmenere with a different name, but they come to find out it's actually from genetically identical to Jaén in Portugal, which they do a lot in the Douro Valley. So it is related to that grape. That is the grape that it came from. Whether it started in Portugal and went to Spain, or went to Spain and then to Portugal, we don't know. They don't know. But anyway, that is the grape that it is. Jaén from Portugal. They're the same. Mencia, Jaén, both tough to say, actually. So let's get started right off the bat. And we're going to go, we have a variety of price ranges here. I think it's good to get a wide spectrum here. And the first one, now this has been a favorite of mine for a long time. This is a Vinos de Arganza, Lagar de Robla, Mencia. And this one rolls in at $10, so great price point. It's directly imported by Grape Expectations, so because they're able to directly import it, they can offer it at a better price. Not me. Alright. Mencia. Now I've stacked this at the store before. I'm really interested in this. This is a 2016. Very interesting. I've stacked this at the store before. I think it's a great value. I consider Mencia more of a food wine than just kind of a quaffing, watching sports sort of wine, or whatever you watch on TV. I'm saying sports because the football playoffs are right now, and I'm very excited how they're going. The Seahawks didn't make it through, but nobody expected them to be in the playoffs in the first place, so it's very exciting that they got there. All right, color on this is fairly dark. You can't really see through it, barely. Kind of a ruby red sort of thing going on there. Let's see what we get on the nose. So you get a little cherries, a little bit of like a branchiness, like a vegetal note, what you would expect. Carmenere is a lot like that. I'm always careful with Carmenere that I put in the store. I don't want to be too much like a tossed salad because a lot of times I'm not there to tell the customer that. So I try to find those Carmeneres that are not anything to do with Mencia, but the idea is the same way with the Mencia. Don't want to be too much like a tossed salad. Get a little currant, a little bit of dried bark as well. It almost has like a perfume, like like a currant soap kind of smell on it. Maybe a little bit of plum as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. Now these wines are not meant to be bold, big. The tannins are a little bit lighter. There's a little bit of grit, a little bit of minerality on this one, on the finish. Up front, get a little bit of that cherry, kind of plum, a little bit of red flower as well, which I did not get on the nose, but that could be that perfume thing I got. Yeah, exactly. A little bit of red flower going on. Medium acidity. You just get a touch of that vegetal component on the backside, a little bit of twigs, dried twigs and vegetal, but it's not very strong. And this would be a wine I'd recommend if just starting out, trying a Mencia. This would be the one I would go to just because it's $10. You know, you don't feel like you're going out on the edge to try it. You know, you're just spending $10. I'm getting a little spice action on the back of this as well. Actually, I could sit and watch a football game and drink this. Had a little popcorn, blue cheese on it. It'd be perfect. It's good hamburger wine, good pizza wine. Nice and simple, but very well made. So, yeah, this has one of those stickers I like to put on there. 92 points. Wine enthusiast. I don't really pay attention to those scores. I just try to guide my customers with proper tasting notes and just, you know, generally understanding their palate and what they like. I think a lot of people would like this wine. It's not an 80%er though. I don't think 80% of the people who buy it will like it, but I think it rolls around into the 60 to 70% range. Especially if you're having pizza, burgers, whatever you're having. Very well made, nice and light, but solid structure, nice integration, good balance. I'm going to go beyond that. I think for $10, that is a solid example of Mencia. You can see here, I was trying to get this out. The cork broke, so there's a bit of cork in here. So I have this nifty little tool. If you ever get to have that, it has a little filter in it. Plugs into your wine bottle, and you don't get any cork in your glass. Cool little gizmo. I like it. I use it a lot. Well, whenever I break a cork or cork goes in the bottle, not a lot. So here we go. This is a 2016 as well, I believe. Yeah, 2016 Vinos de Finca Losada from Bierzo. There it is, Bierzo. This one was Castilla-León, the larger district, which is interesting. So that means they didn't source all their Mencia from Bierzo. I think it was in the 1980s, I believe, or 90s that Bierzo became a DO. So this is Losado from Bierzo. This is 100% Mencia. $16. There you go. Again, the color about the same as the other one, which you would expect. These are all Mencias, right? So there you go. You can barely see through it. It's got that kind of you know, dark reddish thing with a little bit of kind of a ruby component to it. Let's see what we get on the nose. By the way, as you've noticed, I'm terrible with colors. I've had some people coach me, which is good. So I need to pay more attention to that. I need to study that a little bit better. But anyway, not densely dark, but dark. It's the best I can do. Let's see what we get on the nose. This has more fruit on the nose. This has more fruit on the nose. Don't get any of that vegetal, no bark. More in the dark cherry currant mode. This has a very perfumed on the nose as well. Getting a little kind of candy-esque, a little bit of boysenberry coming through. Yeah, let's see what we got on the palate. A little more structure to this one. I like this. This one needs food. Just saying. Good structure, good acidity, nice minerality on the backside. The Lagar de Robla had good minerality too. Up front, real red fruits coming through. Red cherry, a little bit of red currants. Again, a little lighter on his feet. This just has a little bit more to it, but still light. Kind of Pinot Noir-like or Gamay-like, and I know a lot of you guys like Pinot Noir and Gamay, but this has minerality, good acidity, nicely structured. The tannins aren't super strong. It's a dry red wine. Both of these, I didn't mention that, they're a drier style red wine. So this would be great with lamb chops. It'd be great with, like I said, blue cheeseburgers, popcorn with blue cheese, anything with blue cheese, in my opinion, those almost all those go with red wine. Like I said, so this would be good with ham as well, I believe. These wines have such good characteristics for food. Like I said, this goes into the brighter red fruit category, and nice minerality on the finish. I think it's a solid wine. I'm gonna go B on that one as well. $16, good price. 2 B wines to start out. I like that a lot. But, you know, you got $10, 16. Now let's move on to the next one, and this one is the 2017 La Senda Bodega y. Let's see if I can read that. Oh yeah, Bodega Vindon La Senda 1984. This rolls in at $23, so Michael Jordan. This is Mencia from Bierzo. Product of Spain. I know I saw Bierzo on there. Anyway, what I like about this one too is that it's Jose Pasteur Selections, which is a great importer. You know, I really look at importers a lot. This does not give the. You know, it's a very complicated label to read. It is. Bierzo. Give it a little rinse. So let's see what we get when we jump up to 23 bucks. We saw a little bit more structure on the one for 16 versus the one for 10. I'm still favoring the $10 Mencia because it's just a great value. But I think Losada does an excellent job as well. Now let's jump up to the $23 range, the Michael Jordan range. We're in the year 2023. Color on this, very, very similar. Again, not densely dark, but this is dark. You can barely see through it. Barely. Let's see what we get on the nose. Well, this has an interesting, almost like a minty eucalyptus thing going on, which is very interesting. This has like a candied cherry thing. Once again, I don't get the vegetal on the nose like I did the first one. This again has a very kind of perfume, almost like soap perfume. You know what I mean? A little licorice going on with this one as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. This is super minty on the palate. Super minty. And this has more tannins to it. It's a little more structured even than the $16 one. I get that kind of combination of cherry and blackberry going on. Maybe a little bit of plum. A lot of red flowers on this one. These actually kind of remind me of a Nebbiolo. Just a little bit. Not entirely, but just a little bit. It's got a little bit of rust on it. That minerality is there. For those of you who like Nebbiolo or Gamay or Pinot Noir, you'll find this to be a really nice wine for you. And the prices are very reasonable. Almost had like a meat marinade thing going on. The mintiness is really cool on this wine. This would be nice if you had like herbs on your pizza. This would be really good. This would be a great lamb wine. Having lamb tonight, so maybe that's lamb on my mind, but this would be a very good lamb wine. Once again, this is not a wine that you would sit down on the couch and watch a TV program and just quaff. You'd have to have some food with you, but this is a serious wine. I mean, serious. There's a little bit of a bark component on the mid palate that comes through. You can kind of feel it there. It's there. Mencia is just such a cool grape, and I'd like to see I would like to see you guys try this wine. Maybe you are. In the comments, how many of you have actually sought out Mencia and you've tried it and you like it? Maybe you don't like it. Let me know. I'd like to know in the comments. I've been getting a lot of good comments lately. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys. And I always try to respond to those comments. Might take me a couple of days. I hit on my YouTube and see, oh, hey, look at that. People commented. I'm over 700 subscribers now. That's very exciting to me. In fact, I'm going to do a shout out to some of the new subscribers on my next episode, which I believe is going to be a blind Zinfandel episode. My mouth is watering. These wines have good acidity, but it's nicely integrated. They have good minerality. They're great food wines. I think you should seek out Mencia. I'd like to see more of you do that if you haven't done it already. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I really appreciate your support. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate the fact that you like watching this program. Anything you can give me, any input you can give me, what you would like to see me review or do, I'd really appreciate it. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.